Let's take a live look over Dallas Baptist University this midday. They must be good about watering that grass. It is so green. High heat, low hope rain chances continue for North Texas. Meteorologist Greg Fields is in the studio with us today. Greg, my grass does not look like that.
Mine does not either. Yeah, so mine is a little more brown than that. So I don't know what they're doing out there at DBU, but the heat, that's going to be the big story for us. It is going to stay hot and mainly dry across the area. The extreme heat warning does continue over a large part of North Texas, along with that heat advisory here as we go through this evening. So we are talking about a heat index, maybe 110 plus in some areas within the extreme heat warning area here for today. You see that extends on into East Texas as well, with that heat advisory down into Central Texas here for today. So any place you go around the area, it is going to stay hot. Fort Worth right now, 95. Look at that heat index already up to 101 right now. And coming back over to our studios here in downtown Dallas, 93 with that heat index up to 102. So it is hot. It will continue to heat up. We're back into the mid 90s, low and mid 90s with 92 in McKinney. Still in the 80s up along the Red River. Notice that out toward Paris and Clarksville, those temperatures in the 80s right now. We do have an air quality alert in effect as well. I do want to mention that. But where we saw those temperatures in the 80s, a few little showers that we have been talking about and some isolated thunderstorms in our far eastern, northeastern counties right now. We could see a few more later today around the Metroplex. We're going to keep that coverage very low, only about 10%. And those highs are still going to be up around 105 to 106 as we head into this afternoon. More heat over the weekend as well to talk about. So I'll have more on that coming up a little bit later. But now let's get over to Erica checking on that midday traffic.
Greg, thank you so much. 11:02, and we're getting reports of a broken down vehicle out here along I-30 eastbound and Horizon Road. It does look like things are clearing on that left-hand side. This is a stretch where we normally have road work as well as you make your way through Rockwall County. 80 this morning in Kaufman County, moving very nicely here at Broad Street at FM 688. No lingering delays through the Forney area, which is nice to see. 75 and 635 here at the High 5. We do have a little bit of volume there in those northbound lanes, picking up just a bit. 75 in Collin County here at 15th Street in Plano. Very quiet. Here's what the map looks like as you get ready to head out the door across North Texas. Again, taking you over to where that road work and a breakdown is around I-30 East and Horizon. Really wouldn't say it's causing a huge impact whatsoever if you need to head out that way. And then I'll leave you with this. We do have road work starting tonight. I-30 West in western Tarrant County between 820 and I-20 will close tonight at 7 o'clock, reopening Monday by 6. There's going to be a traffic shift with some new pavement in the area. Go ahead and follow the detour signs. I-20 West is also a good workaround. Morgan?
Karmelo Anthony is back in court today as his attorneys push for a new trial. He was convicted of killing Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco last year. Janelle Ford is live at the courthouse where that hearing is actually underway now. And Janelle, you're learning more about a gentleman's agreement to keep certain evidence from the jury in the first trial. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, Morgan, that's what they've been talking about throughout the majority of the morning here. We've been getting even more detail from Karmelo Anthony's original trial lawyers about why that agreement with the prosecution mattered so much to how they were trying this case. So Toby Shook, who was one of the original lawyers, has been on the stand for the majority of the morning. He testified that both sides agreed to keep outside character evidence away from the jury and focus on what happened the day of the stabbing. And Shook says the defense believed that agreement meant Anthony could take the stand without opening himself up to questions about his past. He told the judge that Anthony testifying was essentially a given, but Shook says things changed late in the trial when prosecutor Bill Werski told him the defense had already opened the door by mentioning that Anthony played chess. Now, Shook testified he was caught off guard and that when the now recused Judge John Roach later said he couldn't enforce that informal agreement, the defense was deflated. He told the court he believes that breakdown hurt Anthony's rights in this case.
What I think the defense is arguing is that probably there were some things that they think the jury should have heard that the judge kept out. But really, the bigger issue is that we didn't present evidence, we didn't present witnesses, we didn't pursue certain lines of cross-examination because we thought we had a deal.
Now, prosecutors are pushing back on some of those claims. Werski questioned Shook about whether this may simply have been a miscommunication between the two sides about exactly what that agreement covered. Shook acknowledged there was a disagreement, but maintained the defense believed Anthony would be able to testify under those terms. So again, this hearing is happening right now. We are expecting for it to wrap today. And then the sitting judge that's hearing this, Michael Chitty, will have to decide whether what he's heard over the course of the last 2 days is enough evidence to prove that this trial was unfair and that it warrants a new one. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Janelle, thank you for walking us through that. You'll want to keep it tuned to WFAA throughout the day as these appeal proceedings play out. You can also stay up to date by downloading our free streaming app. Tonight, friends and family will come together to remember a North Texas Marine who died during Marine Corps training in California. 18-year-old Aiden Craig suffered a medical emergency during his 7th week of training at Camp Pendleton earlier this month. His death is still under investigation. He graduated from Wiley High School back in May, and there will be a candlelight vigil for Craig at Wiley ISD Stadium that starts tonight at 8:30. His funeral will be at Cottonwood Church in Allen tomorrow. Today, investigators are giving an update after a mid-air crash in Pennsylvania, all caught on camera. A pilot died after his small plane collided with a police helicopter at the airport. ABC's Olivia Rubin has more on what investigators are saying today.
New details today after a fatal mid-air crash between a police helicopter and a small plane. The horrific moment caught on camera. These still images showing before and after the impact.
The video evidence we have show that it was flying in an unusual attitude and for reasons unknown flew off the right side of the runway 28, and impacted the helicopter.
The NTSB today saying new evidence collected from the scene, including data cards from both aircraft and new videos of the crash. The pilot of the Cessna plane, 55-year-old Dr. Paul Sokolowski, killed after it collided into the back of the helicopter shortly after 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Investigators saying they don't know why.
The helicopter was not over the runway at all. It was over the grass area, well off the runway surface. Shortly after that, the Cessna 150, which appeared to be out of control at that point, slammed into the tail rotor, the tail boom, and the main rotor blades.
The trooper and the corporal inside the helicopter were both injured and expected to recover. The corporal pulling his colleague out of the wreck.
The corporal was in a position to push out a window and assist the trooper who he believed had some more serious injuries and had a lot of bleeding.
Investigators also saying witnesses said the two pilots were in communication before this crash, though there's no recording of those conversations. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
New at midday, another lawsuit against the state of Texas targeting its ban on THC products. This filing alleges it's led to massive job loss and created a monopoly for the state's medical marijuana program. This complaint cites over 36,000 jobs lost and retail sales dropping by more than 50%, leading to billions in lost revenue. The filers are asking for a temporary injunction to remove the ban on THC products. President Trump announced today plans to increase tariff-free beef imports and promising the meat will be sold at 25% below current market price, though he did not specify who made the commitment to sell the beef at a lower price. The beef tariff pause is in place for the next 90 days. Walmart just posted its lowest quarterly growth in 6 years. So now, in hopes of bouncing back, the retailer is promising to use its $2.9 billion tariff refund to lower prices. This refund stems from a February Supreme Court ruling declaring most of President Trump's duties illegal. In total, the government is working to refund about $168 billion to thousands of retailers. Walmart says it's already received most of the money.
Definitely don't like the idea of supermarkets being able to track what I'm buying and then upselling or charging me more later on.
The Federal Trade Commission is working to crack down on a process called surveillance pricing. That's where companies use your personal information to set pricing according to what they think you'll be willing to pay using AI. The FTC is warning businesses to disclose when a price is personalized and the type of data used to set the price. The chairman of the FTC says the agency does not have the authority to outright ban surveillance pricing, but some states are taking action on their own, like New Jersey's Fair Price Protection Act for groceries and necessities. That was signed back in July.
Over the course of a year, a family could spend $1,200 more for the very same groceries just because of an invisible algorithm. That's just wrong.
Instacart came under scrutiny for surveillance pricing last year. The company now says people at the same store at the same time will see the same price, period. Now, closer to home, a nonprofit known for infusing fresh fruits and vegetables into a historic food desert is growing. Bonton Farms, which pumps resources into the South Dallas community, just opened a resource center. The center will be a hub for local entrepreneurs. It has business bays and a bike rental shop, but it's only a fraction of how the charity is actually going to use this new facility.
This resource center is about making this community better. It's about giving hope to those who are hopeless. We have an apprenticeship program. We're going to have workforce. We're going to be able to have a counselor, meet with a counselor here.
The center also will have a Grocery Connect storefront for the garden. You can find a list of programs on Bonton Farms' website. Just click on the community calendar.